Off you go.
To the iCloud, I presume? To iCloud, yep.
To your computer or iCloud, either one.
Yeah, okay, great, not a problem. Well, I'll start again. We're actually going to be talking about the 5-second rule tonight. And this activity actually backs up the slight edge philosophy that Jules Opperman actually introduced to us a few weeks ago. The rule is quite simple. It's a research-backed metacognition tool that creates immediate and lasting behaviour change. And metacondition, by the way, is actually just a fancy name for a word and a technique that allows you to beat your brain in order to accomplish greater goals. Using the rule is actually quite simple. Whenever you feel an instant fire up to act on a goal or a commitment, or the moment you feel yourself hesitate on doing something that you know that you actually should do, use the rule. Our brains are actually wired to avoid and alert you into danger. We are not designed to do things that are uncomfortable or scary or actually difficult. Our brains are designed to protect us from those things that keep us alive. Danger and fear can be like a lion chasing you, having to make a phone call, speaking in public, taking your very first Zoom call like I am tonight, a job interview, talking to an associate or a prospect. Of course, most of the time we are not in danger, and it's not a life or death situation we face. It's a primal response, and it served us way back then. When the brain picked up danger, it was a fight or flight response. Occasionally we do feel like it. We're frozen in fear, which can stop us from becoming successful. We all have the habit of hesitating, and when we have an idea of, instead of acting on it or saying something, we stop and hesitate. And in that micro moment, that small hesitation sends stress signals to our brain, and it wakes our brain up. Our brain magnifies things and tries to protect us from what it perceives is a problem, and it pulls us away from the risks. You are actually one decision away from a totally different job, a totally different income, and a relationship with a spouse, with your family. Your life comes down to decisions that change the decisions. You can actually change everything. You basically have 5 seconds to decide what to do before that little voice in your brain says, oh, I can't do this. I'm not good enough. They won't listen to me. Why would they want to listen to me? If you set goals and intentions in areas you want to change in your life, your brain helps. It opens a checklist, and then your brain goes to work to remind you of the intentions that you've actually set. Most people have a desire to be happy and to beat bad habits, and what Mel talks about in her book about the 5-second rule is to take action before your brain talks you actually out of it. 5 seconds from an idea and an action before your brain kicks in to full gear and sabotages your behaviour. The 5-second rule is simply counting backwards. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, action. The 5-second rule does something really remarkable when you count backwards. And what you're actually doing is you're actually interrupting the habit loop and patterns and behaviours that you repeat every day with actually thinking about things. It moves you from autopilot to the centre of your brain and the precentral cortex. It gives you self-control and can teach you to become the type of person you want to be, and stops you from thinking about doing it. This triggers you to take change and to shift gears. Your brain needs to open up for these to actually take place. Start by counting backwards to yourself. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. The counting will actually help you focus on the goals of commitment and distract you from the worries and thoughts and fears in your mind. As soon as you reach 1, move. That's it. It's so simple. Anytime there's something that you know that you should do, but you feel uncertain, afraid, or overwhelmed, just take control by counting backwards. That'll quiet your mind. Then move when you actually get to 1 by picking up that phone, throwing back that doona in the morning. Counting and moving your actions, and by teaching yourself to take action when you'd stop by thinking, you create a remarkable change. I've actually started using this routine a couple of weeks ago, and I've been walking every morning, but I also wanted to incorporate some personal development reading, and the best time for me was actually to do that in the morning. So I thought, okay, it means I'm going to have to set the alarm for another 30 minutes earlier. And I just went, okay, tomorrow's it. and I just 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Doona went back, feet on the floor, and I just kept going. And it actually works each morning. I know what's happening. It's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I just do it. And we've actually been using it at work as well. And quite often you'll hear somebody in the office go, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And it's really good. It just gets you kind of charged up. You know, it's like you're sharing something, but you know somebody's actually getting something out of it. Just try it. It really does work. Counting backwards does a few important things simultaneously. It actually distracts you from your worries, and it focuses your attention on what you actually need to do. It prompts you to actually act and interrupts the habits of hesitation, overthinking, and holding yourself back. Counting forward won't actually work, by the way. So when you count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's no actual ending, so you could keep counting. So when you count backwards and reach 1, that's actually the prompt to move, to either pick up that phone, throw that doona cover back and put your feet on the floor and get going. So that's actually the action. So you don't actually have to move, but you pick something up. When what you can happen in 5 seconds flat is that self-doubt can actually step in and rob you of your potential, or in 5 seconds flat, you can actually use the rule and push yourself to grab it. Confidence is not a personality trait, it's actually a skill. Confidence is the ability to move from thought to action. Confidence is giving the willingness to have a go and have a try. I'm actually going to share a couple of videos that Mel's actually done. There's quite a few. In the chat box, there should be the links, because I put those in. Oh, actually, they won't be in the links. I'll have to do those later because I didn't have the right number. I pre-put those in. So, okay, I'm just going to share the screen and...
Because at some point we all bought into this lie that you got to feel ready in order to change.
Yeah.
We bought into this complete falsehood that at some point you're going to have the courage. At some point you're going to have the confidence, and it's total bull, frankly. Are we allowed to swear on that show? Okay. It's complete garbage. And so there are so many people in the world, and you know, you may be watching this right now, and you have these incredible ideas, and what you think is missing is motivation. And that's not true, because the way that our minds are wired and the fact about human beings is that we are not designed to do things that are uncomfortable or scary or difficult. Our brains are designed to protect us from those things, because our brains are trying to keep us alive. And in order to change, in order to build a business, in order to be the best parent, the best spouse, to do all those things that you know you want to do with your life, with your work, with your dreams, you're going to have to do things that are difficult, uncertain, or scary, which sets up this problem for all of us. You're never going to feel like it. Motivation's garbage. You only feel motivated to do the things that are easy, right?
Why do you think that is?
Oh, I know exactly why that is. Because I've studied this so much, because for me, one of the hardest things to figure out was, why is it so hard to do the little things that would improve my life? And what I've come to realize, and what we'll talk a lot about today, is that the way that our minds are designed is our minds are designed to stop you at all costs from doing anything that might hurt you. And the way that this all happens is it all starts with something super subtle that none of us ever catch. And that is with this habit that all of us have that nobody's talking about. We all have a habit of hesitating. We have an idea. If you're sitting in a meeting, you have this incredible idea, and instead of just, saying it, you stop and you hesitate. Now, what none of us realize is that when you hesitate, just that moment, that micro moment, that small hesitation, it sends a stress signal to your brain. It wakes your brain up, and your brain all of a sudden goes, oh wait a minute, why is he hesitating? He didn't hesitate when he put on his killer spiky sneakers. He didn't hesitate with the really cool track pants. He didn't hesitate with the NASA t-shirt. Now he's hesitating to talk, something must be up. So then your brain goes to work to protect you. It has a million different ways to protect you, One of them is called the spotlight effect. It's a known phenomenon where your brain magnifies risk. Why? To pull you away from something that it perceives to be a problem. And so you can truly trace every single problem or complaint in your life to silence and hesitation. Those are decisions. And what I do and what's changed my life is waking up and realizing that motivation's garbage. I'm never going to feel like doing the things that are tough or difficult or uncertain or scary or new. So I need to stop waiting until I feel like it. And number two, I am one decision away from a totally different marriage, a totally different life, a totally different job, a totally different income, a totally different relationship with my kids. Not like one decision, I'm divorcing you in the marriage example, but one decision on, you could be having a conversation with your spouse and you feel your emotions rise up, and within a tiny window, those emotions can take over and can impact how your marriage goes. Or you can learn how to take control of that micro moment and make a decision to act in a way that actually shifts your marriage. Your life comes down to your decisions. And if you change your decisions, you will change everything.
Okay, stop sharing that one and I'll share the next one.
I said simple. I didn't say easy. And the reason why it's not easy is because you have to deal with you. And now we know that you're a control freak and you're stubborn and you got all these excuses. You're a real pain. And I'm going to teach you, though, the very, very simple way to get what you want. There's only one rule when it comes to productivity. There's only one rule when it comes to success. There's only one rule to getting everything you've ever wanted. And here it is. You're never going to feel like it. Ever. In any area of your life that you don't have what you want, whether it's the amount of money, the amount of people on your team, the amount of sales, the amount of trips for your family, if you only did the things that you don't feel like doing, you'd have everything you ever wanted. Those areas where you're happy, you do the work. Those areas where you're complaining, you don't feel like it. You don't do it. So it's a lot like kids. If you think about it, what's your job as a parent? It's to make kids do the things they don't feel like doing so they can grow up and move out and become independent adults. My son never feels like getting off the DS. He never feels like putting his feet down when he's in the car. My daughter never feels like cleaning up the Barbies. I have no idea why they're always naked, by the way. Always naked. And the funny thing is, when you grew up and moved out, your parents never said to you, guess what? You are a total pain in the rear end. You never feel like doing anything. You don't feel like doing your homework. You don't feel like going out. You don't feel like making your bed. You don't feel like saying hello to strangers. You don't feel like using your mirrors. You don't feel like cleaning your room. Good luck to you. So the only way to get what you want is to parent yourself, but I'm going to make it easy for you. We're about to move. You've learned a ton about the brain now. The brain is going to screw you over. The brain is going to go into autopilot. The brain is going to tell you it doesn't feel like doing things. It's trickery. You now know that. So how do you be effective with yourself knowing that you're never going to feel like doing all the work that it takes to have this business be everything that it possibly could? So you're going to use the 5-second rule. And what that means is this. From the moment that you have the idea, I should email out the fall collection. I should go through the contact list for my college or university and reach out to people. I should go through my contact list and invite 23 people this week to just take the dogs for a walk. I should make a request of a friend and ask if I can come to a presentation at lunch at his law firm. From the second you have that idea, you've only got 5 seconds to take action. Otherwise, it's gone. Your brain will swoop in so fast, and be like, uh-oh, there's an idea. No way. No, wait, you don't feel like it, you're overwhelmed, you've got 5 seconds, and that's it. Today, I want you to practice this, because what you're going to notice is you're going to notice a little bit later, like in the networking section and, afterwards, and in some of these events after this particular speech, you're going to notice that you have an impulse. You have an impulse to walk towards somebody that's really successful, that's built a team that could possibly help you. And guess what? You're not going to do it. You've probably had them the entire time that you've been here. Oh, I should go over and talk to this person. I'll catch them later. Oh, that person looks really interesting. I don't know. I should really take some photos of this fall line and start to, that might be too pushy. So what do you do? How does it work? You have the thought, you've got 5 seconds, that's it. And what do you need to do? Just say something out loud, that's one way. You could start walking. The second you feel like you should meet somebody because you're drawn to them, again, it's from here, it's not from here, start walking. Because if you're already walking, the likelihood is you'll actually make it to them. And then you're gonna say something. Write it down, schedule it, send an email to yourself, or make the request. One of the things that was so interesting about talking to Tara this morning is it was clear that a couple people had been in there sharing their brains out about Jay Hilbert. And yet it never progressed into the side of the conversation of, would you like information? Would you like to do it? And I'm sure whoever it was that was lying on the table probably had that thought, like, I should probably say something. Should I? Getting a facial, is that weird? To be talking about business at the same time? 5 seconds gone. Talk yourself out of it.
Hi there, my name is Sandrine and my name is Melly. I will come to my beautiful home here in Perth, Western Australia.
Sorry about that. Okay. So what I was actually thought we could do is just have a little bit of a brainstorm, and I'll unmute, if you want to actually have a chat and just talk about that. Janine, what do you think that could help you, like if you hesitate to make decisions, or have you actually identified an area in your life that you could actually use this particular rule?
Oh, all the time, Kay. So getting up in the morning, I go to bed with full intentions that, get up at 6:30, get my stretching done and everything that makes a difference before I start work. And prior to you introducing this to me, I noticed that I would always hit the snooze button. And after, I watched the videos or the little YouTubes you just played, I started playing the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And as soon as my alarm goes off, I get out of bed. I first of all started using that, and now I just get out of bed. It's like instantaneous. So, it's changed that habit loop for me. But, there are times I know that the correct actions to do to build my business, and one of those is pick up the phone and call people. Do you know, most days I don't want to do that, Kay.
Yes.
And I notice it, and I could easily justify doing many, many other things that could even be seen as being productive in my business. And they are, but they're not productive in terms of me personally sponsoring. And that's a really important role for me. And I use it when I'm going to pick the phone up to call somebody and introduce them to, or invite them to, find out more about the redox. So it's a great way for me to interrupt that mechanism that would have me go and do something else. So I've used it like that, anywhere where I hesitate. Yeah. Another place to be when I'm committed to my well-being and I find myself going to the pantry looking for food that wouldn't support me. So I just go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and I turn around and leave the pantry. I move, even though there's something calling me back. Oh my God, it's so strong.
It's really interesting once you actually start to implement it. Like you said, it's like you kind of expect, you just know, you just move. It's just great. It really does. It's fun. And so has anybody else got any areas that they think that they might be able to use it? Jeanette?
I think probably in the same area that Janine was talking about, then it's very, like, when I get off from here, I have to support a couple of people on the downline, and I will do that. But I often think I'm supporting these other people. I need to be doing something for myself in terms of, sponsoring for my, for our line rather than helping these people who are 3 or 4 deep. And so I think that would be a very good little technique to put in place, and I think I'll practice that first thing in the morning, because I've got a few people on my list who I haven't got to because I'm doing the other, so I think I'll just reprioritise, get 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rocking.
Good. I mean, you might find you want to do that list and just do it for every single person. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hilda gets done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Julie gets done, and just do it. It's as simple as that. It really is, and you just think, how can something that simple actually work? But it really does. It's awesome. Jules, have you got any insights into that? How would you use it in your life at work, or would?
Well, I've actually been reading the book for the 5-second rule, and one of the ideas she also talks about is if you have an idea, you write it down because it's gone in 5 seconds. So I come up with lots of ideas. So I've actually started writing down, even if it's a note on my phone or something, I'll just jot something down, and what will come of it, who knows, but I actually do, because you come up with these ideas and they just go out of your head quickly if you don't write them down. Doesn't matter how old you are, I think sometimes that just happens anyway. So I just start writing them down, so that's been good for me.
That's great. Yeah. Has anybody else decided that, just talking about this tonight, have they thought of anything, any other areas that they might decide to use this rule, whether it be relationships or anything like that? Any areas that you're actually having trouble with work, with your business? No? Are there any areas that you're actually stuck?
Yes. Hi, it's Jen. For me, I've got a person on my list for the last week, and she's come into my head. I've had someone tell me about her. I've had someone tell me they've gone into give us some information about a seer, and she's a naturopath in my area. And every time I've tried to think about giving her a call, I find something to distract me from making that call.
I've worked with her before.
And I worked with her before, and she's a scary kind of person, really, for me. And so I'm thinking now, the moment I heard you say the 5-second rule, I thought, that'll be it. I'll absolutely practice it with this one.
Yeah.
Because I can walk to, I can do that. This morning I was thinking, I need to phone somebody to find out how she's doing. And I found myself walking to the phone, and I picked up the phone and I just did it. And I don't know what stops me on other times doing that. But I think doing this 5-second rule, the moment you said it, I thought I can grab that and work with it.
Yeah, it really is. It's just like, I think, especially when making phone calls, you just think, oh, it's not the right time. Should we putting the baby down, or she's probably just coming home from the gym, I won't do that, or somebody will be doing the tea now, or whatever. Some people could actually be waiting for your call, and it doesn't, they might have not gone to the gym that day, and they could be just sitting there just having a cuppa, and you've missed that time.
When we speak in November, she actually said she doesn't think about any of that. She doesn't think about, it might be dinner time, they might be busy, they might be at the gym, like a person comes into her head and she goes straight to the phone and she makes that phone call, regardless of, she doesn't let any of that distract her at all. And I really think that was great too. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you for sharing this. It's been excellent.
Good. Oh, thank you. I mean, I've got the book, and you can actually get it on her website. It comes with a lot. The book has actually had a lot of testimonials in it where people have actually used it. So you might be able to have a look through that. I'll put on the chat box that's actually the 5-second rule. It comes with quite a few other. there's 31 sessions that you can for real confidence that you can actually log into and download as well. So that's the actual book. But they're actually using it for courage in the US Army. They're actually using the 5-second rule in their training. They're actually areas of improving your health, as Janine, actually was talking about, was, okay, I really shouldn't be eating that, or, pouring that second glass of wine. You've had one should be enough, or not, it should be, but, one. But you can just start pouring, and you're just not thinking, you're actually just doing and eating that extra bit of toast in the morning instead of just having one, or, that's just food side, or pouring that extra glass of wine, or just avoiding those last 5 people on your list. Oh, let's do them tomorrow. And another 5 people will add on that list. And by the time you've finished, you've got people, you might have 20 people that you wanted to invite to your next session, but you never really got round to it because time got on, and, it just, they just never got round to get being invited. So it's just, taking they're talking about increased productivity, you're ending that procrastination, and stop your worrying. It can actually help you with anxiety, because you just stop and it just calms you. You can beat fear and pursue passions and enrich other relationships and things like that. So, yeah, yes, Jules? Can you unmute yourself? Oh, you have done.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just while you've been talking, I've just thought of something since you told me about it, and I've been reading the book. I actually shared it with my daughter Lauren. She plays sport, rep netball, and she has a few issues, getting a bit anxious goal scoring. So I actually taught her, whether she does it all the time, but I actually told her about the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, yeah. And just try to bring it into her day. So, it's good for kids as well.
Absolutely. It's like a reboot. I mean, the other weekend, my husband and I were actually having a talk, and there was a bit of stress coming into it. And I just said 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, because I'd actually talked to him about it beforehand. And by the end of the day, he actually said to me, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. He actually texted back to me, because I was being a bit, I think I was just being a little bit too anxious on something. And I said, Are you sure you're okay with this? Are you sure? Oh, for God's sake, Kate, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And that was it. And so, he's just basically bringing that back to the fore again for me, because I've actually been using it, and then, use it yourself. Thank you very much. If there's any other areas that anybody wants to talk about, or...
Gosh, Kate. So what I noticed in her talks, because she's done so many of them, she basically says that just from one of her YouTubes, you can get the technique, and she said the book's really about understanding the science behind how your brain works. So it's really great that she makes available really the whole technique in a nutshell in 5 minutes. If people just feel like, I just overwhelmed, and getting another book and getting into that might not be, quite the right time for people. So I love the fact that she just says, look, this is the technique. You can just start running with it right now. And that's more or less what I did when you spoke to me. And as much as I'd love to read the book, I know that I've got access to the technique without having the book, which is
you definitely don't need it. Because you can get that from those YouTube as well. But the reason that she actually implemented this was because she was going through a rough patch with her marriage and a few other things that, health crises and things like that. And she just decided, she saw something on the television, and it was actually a jet going off, and they were actually counting backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, bang. And that's how she actually... And she went into action. It shot up, and she just went, that's what I've got to do. And so she was...
spaceship going off.
Yeah, spaceship going up. And so that's how she got it. She went, I can actually implement that into other areas of my life. And she used to drink a bit because it she was sleeping in, and the kids were missing the bus in the morning, and she wasn't doing the lunches, and it just one thing just led to another, and it snowballed, and then her health goes, and then she was about a husband, and and then she was seeing things negatively all the time, and it was just coming in on her, and it just, that's how she came about it, and it was just awesome. So just 5. That's all it is.
A fabulous tool in our business, that's for sure.
Absolutely. So I encourage you to go and have a look on. It's just Mel Robbins with ROBBINS. She's not married to what's his name, Robbins, the motivational speaker.
Tony Robbins.
She's not married to him. No, it's a completely different woman. She was a lawyer, so she completely different background, and now she does motivation. She actually decided to go to a life coach, and that was one of the other things that she actually started to do. And by going to the life coach, she actually realised that, this is what I want to do, and her life changed. So, just by that simple, silly 5-second rule. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kaye.
Okay, so what is it now? I know it's only early, but is there anybody else got any other questions that they want to ask on anything else?
Is there anything you wanted to put in the chat box?
Okay, I'll do that now. Thanking you.
And I'm not sure that the event's been recorded.
I can't do that until after I've stopped. Is that correct?
Maybe put things in the chat box now.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just... That's one of them. And this is the larger one. And okay, I don't know why it's not doing it. For some reason or other it's not. Maybe I'll just do this bit.
Thanks, Kaye. That was excellent.
Thank you, John.
I'm up to number 18, I think, of the videos, and I just want to share that she makes them under 5 minutes mostly. So you don't, it's not like it's a 20-minute slot in your morning. It's a 3 to 5 minute slot to listen to some advice, which is, I'm finding excellent.
It is, isn't it? I mean, I know that you had actually said something about it the other day, and I said, they're actually doing it on the training. You went, sorry. And I thought, no, it's just fabulous that people, that it can be that simple. Doesn't cost any money, and it just gets your brain into gear. It's just awesome. Yeah. So that longer one is for 49 minutes, but the other ones, I've got 2 up there to 49 minutes, so I'll take one down. But the other one is just 5 minutes, and there's many. She's got many different types of videos out there. Yeah. So enjoy.
Thank you.
Thank you. And I think that everybody will be back at 9 o'clock? Well, you're 8 o'clock, I suppose. And do I just stop the recording now?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep, you can stop the recording.